Okay.
Yeah, one.
Okay, thank you. The next thing on our agenda is public comments.
Okay, we have two individuals requested for public comment. Ms. Cleopatra Hargett Lawson. You have 4 minutes for your comments.
Things housing connections, officials. And thank you all for alumni and my fellow aid. Which means African American descendants of slaves. That's what it's meant. Agreeing on behalf of our ancestors who were precluded from learning to read and write until the end of the Civil War, and who came to New Bern as scared, freed slaves, instead to Roanoke Island, where they were first allowed to legally learn to read and write. Now, you heard commissioners tell us that you want all ADOS, American descendants of slaves, to put our museum, which you approved, honoring our education in America. Since that time, in the kitchen or cafeteria of our historic school, West Street, FR down the street. Are we still slaves? Will only be honored in the kitchen? While Tron Palace occupies 31 acres in our city. Mr. Matthew Shelley wants to help us honor all African American descendants of slaves on the entire West Street. I met with him for our first funeral home, IP Hack Funeral Home, our first hospital, Good Shepherd Hospital, our first school, West Street School, our Green Book House, the Sparrows House, my classmate Aaron Pete Martin's home, who played with the NFL stands, and other historic sites are located. You want to tear it down. I feel like George Floyd. I can't breathe with your knee on my neck of our ADOS history. You tried to destroy JT Barber. I saved it. And we saved it. It is now an award-winning school with a PhD principal. You destroyed the ADOS Christian School. That was before I moved back. You are trying to destroy historic Havelock Middle School. I met with them. We are determined to save it. I contacted Mo Green, our new chief state school officer. Now you're trying to wipe out the 3+ acres of West Street FR Dennis School. My question is, do you have the legal right to this historic property? Since the Craven County School Board, see, I keep up with stuff since I've been here, had no public hearing before transferring it to the county commissioners. And the county commissioners had no public hearing for transferring it to you, the housing commissioners. We taxpayers own our public land. I spoke with the historic preservation people out of Raleigh. They said, this is our land. Do we have no rights or voices to be heard? Is this matter litigious? Tell us our West Street FR Daniels historic property so we can build our museum to honor our education and our history in America. Where it was a crime for us to learn to read and write, you should be ashamed. We are already supported by the Secretary of Smithsonian, Dr. Lonnie Bunch, who I helped build the historic African American Museum for African American History and Culture. I have my card here, as I told you before. I'm a charter member. I built museums before and have been assigned a consultant. We've met with his consultant to advise us. We're aware that many high-income persons are already buying those condominiums, as I was told. You plan to build on the Trent Court property. They've been paying $2,000 and $3,000 a month for years, I'm told. My father had 14 brothers and sisters. I got lots of relatives around. Our hypothesis is that you want to put the low-income Trent Court tenants on our historic land, even the beautiful waterfront for the high-income owners. As your highly paid consultant from Pittsburgh stated in our November 24th meeting, we do not need to pile poor people on top of each other, especially Black people. Excuse me, I'll turn the page. As you know, Raymond Parish low-income projects is only 1 block from West Street, FR Daniels Historic School. We need to improve that area, as Mr. Matthew Shelley and I agreed over breakfast. That area with our museum, making it a better area for our public housing people. No more public housing for poor people, please, on our land. A mixed income housing project will not work in that area. It will only produce more crime. Walk down the street, you see drugs and everything else. As I commended City Manager Williams in our first meeting of building out, New Bern has expanded. the city limits has been moved out further. We pray as our housing commissioner, it will be the right thing to us out here. Submitted by Cleopatra Hardy, alumni of West Street, J.T. Bob, et cetera, born in Cove City. Well, 5 miles when I was 5 years old to my grandfather built on Bright Chapel Church. The church that my family founded. A descendant of the U.S. fellow troops. We fought for this country. Save our history. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Melissa?
I wanted to talk about Trent Court. We went to, me and my husband Michael, we went to the meeting. They had a lot of beautiful diagrams and graphs of what Trent Court was gonna look like. But then I got wind not too long ago that people have been paying $2,000 to get condos that are supposed to be in the place of Trent Court. Not low income and medium income, but having condos built where Trent Court's supposed to go. I'm upset about that. Then, I thought when the housing people were going to build other low income properties, I thought that was for the other people that are in New Bern. For other residents, not in Trent Court, but other residents of New Bern. I have family, I have friends. And I'm concerned that you're not gonna do what you told us in those meetings at Stanley White, that things that will be built are gonna be built for the people of Trent Court. I think y'all gonna move them out. I'm hoping you won't, but move them out and put condos in their places.
Are there any other comments? Anybody else registered?
Not by the deadline.
Not by the deadline. Could you repeat the policy to make comments, to be able to make a comment at
Yeah,
our meeting, please?
the requirement says anyone wishing to make a public comment must pre-register with the interim executive director by noon on Monday, April 21st, 2025, which is the day of the meeting, by calling a number. And so several people called after that time frame, but they didn't meet the 12 o'clock time.
May I ask the question? Did I use my 4 minutes?
You went over your 4 minutes.
Okay. Well, thank
Yes,
you for
ma'am.
accommodating me.
I
Absolutely.
just have a question. Do you all make this known before the meeting or do you put it public notice?
Yes, ma'am.
I didn't even see it. I didn't see it. Someone told me, so I didn't see it. I don't know what.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah,
Can you tell me what Miss Melissa's last name is, just for a record?
it's
Miss Melissa,
Melissa.
could you say what is your last name so that I?
SCHACHDER.
Okay, thank you.
See, I just have one more question. Whether you put information, I just like to ask questions so I can make sure that I get it right, get it from you guys now. So whether you put the information up, that you just repeat it, you put it up on.
It's on our website and it's on our Facebook page, and it's posted on the door.
Okay, so if you don't see it posted on the door, go on the website so you won't know. That's the only place you put it.
No, ma'am. So on our excuse me, ma'am, on our Facebook page, it's on the front door as well as our website. There's 3 different places.
On the 3 places.
Yes, ma'am.
You should come to your front door and read stuff. All right.
Okay, I don't have any comments at this time. I do notice that we have a lot of people, more than we normally do. And I thank you guys for coming. I appreciate it. But our policy is, we do have a policy for making public comments. So I would assume that some of you are here to make those public comments. Am I correct? Or make some public comments? No?
Yes.
Well, I am, but
Yes.
you know, I just.
But let me thank you for inviting me.
Yes, ma'am.
I thank you.
Everyone is invited at any time, okay?
And thank you for listening.
So absolutely. By show of hand, how many would like to make a comment? Just one, two? Does the board have any objection?
No, Madam Chair, I move that we allow those two that have indicated they would like to speak to be able to speak.
Second.
Okay, would you please, sir, state your, yes, sir,
Oh, I'm Mike Williams.
Mike
Williams.
Williams, thank you. You have 4 minutes.
4 minutes.
Yes, sir.
That's it.
That's it.
I don't need that many.
Okay,
I'm actually here in support of Dr. Hargett Lawton and her requests and her comments. I had conversations with her. We're both a part of a group which is Together Forward, which is a subgroup of the Equal Justice Initiative. So we've had conversations and I 100% support her efforts in trying to build a museum to memorialize and put in place something that's going to recognize the educational efforts of African Americans in Eastern North Carolina. So I'm 100% behind her and support what she's trying to do.
May I make a
How's
correction?
that?
Not just Eastern North Carolina, America. Smithsonian is working with us.
thank you.
Barbara Sampson.
Yes, Ms. Sampson.
Well, my concern is, I know that you all say you're gonna do condominiums in Trent Court and you're gonna tear the apartments down. But I'm making sure that I understand, well, that what you said that the ones that living there now, you will give them the first choice, we'll give them a voucher, and it still would be according to income. I'm gonna just make sure so I can hear it said. Is that true?
Would you like to address that?
Cliff,
I'm sorry.
I mean, it's a public, I didn't know if we were responding to questions or statements, so that's why.
That is up to you all. You do not have to, but that is up to you all.
I tell you what, will you finish that was one question that you had. Would you finish your comments?
Okay, all right then. For most of it, I just want to understand, because I'm just getting the gist of what really you all doing, especially you saying about how you get the information out. Okay, and I wanted to make sure that you try to we're making a museum over there on West Street. And I'm not saying you have to do both of the buildings, but you can take one of the buildings and make a museum. And then let us know what we need to do so we can make sure that it comes to happening. Because I have lots of questions and stuff, because I want to make sure of what's going on. And I'm not, if it wasn't for someone calling me and someone sending me a text and stuff, I would never know that they had this meeting. Because a lot of people don't go on Facebook. A lot of people don't come up here and look at their door to see what's up there. A lot of people not on social media. But if you were made it known on Channel 12, I don't think you did, because I would have seen it, or my mama would have seen it, because we make sure we watch the news for no telling, make sure I'm not up there on it.
Let her know that we have the same meeting every month for years.
Yes, ma'am.
We should let her know that.
Don't be on the news.
Just the public more aware of the means besides the 3 things you just named yourself.
Thank you. So we're gonna go ahead and move on in the meeting. Thank you all for coming. We appreciate your comments. We do hear the comments. I heard them, and they will be addressed.
Thank you. Thank you.
The next thing on our agenda is approval of minutes.
Madam Chair, I make a motion that we approve the minutes of the March 17th, 2025 meeting. I'm gonna do them separate if you don't mind. Well, I don't know how you want to do it on the 24th. I think there needs to be an addition. Do you want to do them separately?
Yes.
Okay, so I'll make the motion that we approve the minutes of March 17th.
Any questions? I just want to make sure our commissioners online can hear us.
Yes, I can.
Okay, did you hear the comments and everything that was said?
Crystal clear.
Awesome. All in favor of approval of the March 17th, 2025 minutes? Say aye.
Aye.
Are there any opposed? Okay, motion carries. All right, the next thing on our agenda is our First Citizens Invest.
The March 24th.
meeting.
Oh, so we are gonna do those even though we don't have them?
What do you want?
We got them right
You
here.
have,
Well, I know.
minutes don't have public
the-
hearing.
So
We can approve the public hearing portion of it at the next
it
meeting.
did not include that we opened, my concern was, it does not say in there that we held a public hearing because we were a quorum, we held a public.
Oh,
hearing.
right.
And we made a motion to close the public hearing and it stated that there was no one in attendance. That's my perspective.
Okay.
So it was excluded from this, so I can make a motion that we adopt them with the addition of that information, or we could come back. What do you think would be?
Well, I think these will be a separate set of minutes because that meeting opened and closed, adjourned. So, and then we opened again with the minutes of the special meeting. So I can prepare those to have at the next meeting, the public hearing part to adopt at the next meeting. If you want to adopt this part, we'll adopt the other at the next meeting. Does that work?
That's what
I want it to be, I think it should be all one, because it was part of one.
Table it. We'll
Just
do-
table it, okay,
that's what I was thinking.
that'd be fine.
Okay. So we are moving on to the First Citizens Investment presentation. Update.
Good afternoon, Mr. Bern, commissioners. My name is Jeff Medlin. I work with First Citizens Bank here in New Bern. I'm joined today virtually by Charlie Dickinson and Ken Whitehurst. As a way of introductions, First Citizens has been the banking partner for the Housing Authority for more years than I can remember. And in 2024, the decision was made by this board to move some longer-term funds into an investment vehicle per the statutes that are allowed for by both by the Housing Authority. And by all accounts, that investment is doing exactly as was intended. The investment has remained active. It is growing. I'll defer to Ken and Charlie on specifics on that, but after just over a year, it is performing exactly as intended. Charlie, Ken, you want to add any color to that?
Yes, absolutely. Can you guys hear me okay?
Yes, sir.
Great. Jeff, thank you for the introduction. As Jeff mentioned, my name is Charlie Dickinson and I serve as the main point of contact for the New Bern Housing Authority for this investment portfolio. And as Jeff mentioned, the portfolio has done as intended and has done very well. We started with $1.5 million. Invested has returned $70,000, just over that, in just over a year time period, which equates to just shy of 5% annualized return. In addition, there's a average yield to maturity for the portfolio on a forward-looking basis of 4.25%. So again, we still see this as a good fit, and we'll continue to monitor things as the market conditions changes. But for now, we anticipate that will continue to be go as planned, as Jeff mentioned. Any comments or questions related to the portfolio that we can address for you today?
No, sir. Anybody?
Thanks for doing a good job with this.
Yeah.
And thanks to the board for looking at this. I mean, for those folks here who aren't sort of aware of what this all is, this is just cash management, how we manage the cash balances of the public housing. And we've done it in a way that brings us in a little more income that'll make the public housing better finance for everybody.
Thank you.
Thank you. Any update, any more updates or good?
Unless there are any specific questions that I can defer to Ken or Charlie, no, that was the update.
So, Chair, at some point in the future, as we monitor this, we do want to come back to the board to look at any additional investments to increase that amount that we've invested based on the return that we've derived over the last year. If we had invested a little bit more, naturally that return would have been higher. So at some point in the next future, I wanted the board to get an update because it's been a year. And then at some other point in the future, I'll come back to you all and have further discussion around investing more.
Thank you.
Okay.
Okay, the next thing on our agenda is our finance report. Shay, are you there?
Yes, I'm here.
Okay, we're ready whenever you are.
And they have, Shay, just for the record, they have the updated finance information that you presented.
The other board members don't that are on Zoom, so they just need to be aware that.
Yeah.
Impact.
So, Scott and Commissioner Powell, we had some updates to the finance report. We will forward those to you at the conclusion of this. I'll get a copy to forward the updated information. So what you all have in front of you that was emailed to you is different from what is being presented right now. Just want to make you all aware. So if you see the numbers that's changing from what you have in front of you, that's the reason why.
Thank you.
Okay, Shay, it's on you.
So the first report we have here is the balance sheet. Does anyone have any questions on the balance sheet?
Anyone? And I think,
Just to note that the difference in the previous report and this report, for the good of the board members that's on the Zoom, is the change in what was written off the previous months. So it adjusted the collection loss and the receivables, okay?
The next report is the Ross grant. Does anyone have any questions on the Ross grant? Okay, the next report is for Trent Court. Does anyone have any questions for Trent Court? Okay. And then for the next report is the next page is New Bern Towers. Does anyone have any questions on New Bern Towers? Okay.
And also just keep repeating stuff in previous months, just for the good of the board. Currently, we're still operating on a continuing resolution from the federal government standpoint. So the budget from the previous president and the current president, neither of those budgets have been approved. So we're still working off of the 23 continuing resolution from the government. Okay. And right now it's expected that we'll continue to operate under the federal continuing resolution to the end of this federal fiscal year, which ends September 30th, unless something changes. And if it does, then we'll make you all aware, because it would probably change our budgetary numbers from there. Sorry, Shay, go ahead.
And then we have the cash lead. Does anyone have any questions on the cash lead sheet? Okay. And the last report is the grant summary. Does anyone have any questions on the grant summary?
And as I shared with the Finance Committee, what you all approved last month with the 24 and 25 annual plan, we are finalizing the submission and the upload of that information into the system. So hopefully by the next board meeting, you'll see the 24 number, and then subsequently in the next month or so, you'll see the 25 number added to that CFP top number.
And that was the last report.
Okay, at this time, we'll entertain a motion for the approval of the finance report. Thank you.
So moved.
Second.
Any questions? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, motion carries. Thank you, Shay.
Thank you.
Okay, next we'll have our executive director's report.
Yeah, mine is gonna be quick. The biggest thing that I have, I think, is an overall benefit for the agency, to the staff. I sent you all an email regarding as it relates to us updating our personnel policy. That you all have a resolution for our updated personnel policy. The other thing that I submitted with that is a proposal with the benefits of why I'm recommending a recommendation to, as most agencies, housing agencies in particular, but a lot of other companies as well, has made modifications to operating hours. And so what I'm proposing to you all is to move to a weekly schedule beginning in May. That would be, I would have loved right now to present to you to be completely closed on Fridays, but I'm presenting a hybrid schedule to you at this time to start out with working 8 to 5:30 Monday through Thursday, and then they would get off at 12 noon on Fridays. That enhances a lot of, as I sent to you all, the recommendations and the reasons why. But one of the benefits and one of the main benefits that I think long-term that it provides as well is from employee retention, morale. It also, you find that people will schedule their doctor's appointments and other appointments on those times so they don't have to take sick leave or vacation time, especially they can use those at other times as well. So it reduces the amount of lost time with employees taking off, calling in, et cetera, as well as other benefits from an efficiency standpoint, because people know that they have a deadline of 12 noon to kind of get that stuff done. So you're going to work Monday through Thursday to really get that done. The other benefit is, as more of our residents go to work, it gives us an opportunity to be here earlier and a little later. So when people get off at 4:30, 5 o'clock, we're still here to 5:30 on those days. So that way people can still come in and handle business with us because when they need to provide something to us, they got to take off. And a lot of our employees, when they take off work, they lose pay. So they don't have some of the benefits. And so by us being open later, it gives our residents a chance knowing that we're going to still be here to 5:30, that when they get off at 4:30, 5 o'clock, they can still get to us before 5:30 and still provide us the information that they need. So that's my recommendation. It doesn't change their benefits, doesn't change the total number of hours in the pay period. It's just they're working the additional time Monday through Thursday and getting off at 12.
So what's the current hours they're working?
They work currently right now, it's Monday through Friday, 8 to 5.
8 to 5. So
Yeah.
you get
An hour for lunch. And so what we would do in this case is we're paying for that additional 30 minutes during the lunch period that we don't pay for now, which then allows for them to still be able to get the full 30 hours.
But it's adding 30 minutes on the end of the day.
Correct. Yeah.
Cutting off 4, 5
And
hours.
effectively trimming the lunch.
But they'll still, and then we'll work it out. So like in the morning and afternoon, you take a break, but it's still, you can take a 10, 15-minute break in the morning, 10, 15-minute break in the afternoon, but it trims the time frame of us. They'll still get the hour lunch. It's just that we're paying for 30 minutes of that hour where before being deducted.
Are there any other comments from the board concerning this?
I think it's good common sense.
Do we have to make a motion for this or just?
So it's a personnel issue, but because it does change the hours, I would like for it to in a format from the board.
Okay. Any questions from our commissioners online?
Yeah. It makes perfect sense to me. Sounds good.
Okay, a motion? Have a motion, please, to approve the new office hours.
I make
So
a
moved.
motion. Okay. You got it, Scott?
Yeah, I got it.
Okay, thank you.
Second, somebody?
Second.
Questions? Okay, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Okay, next we will have the New Bern Towers report. Is Ms. Simmons here? You can squeeze through, ma'am.
Good afternoon. We have an occupancy rate of 93%. We have a tar rate of 20%, and police report is 11. Thank you.
Any questions?
Right on.
So, just to know what, Sabrina, to your point, what, both, Tasha and Pam did this month is work with, in collaboration with finance.
Okay.
To, so opposed to trying to, opposed to doing it on their own and then it doesn't reconcile back. They both worked with finance. to
Does that
make
help
sure
you?
Those numbers work. She was saying, did it help you?
It did
You
help
did.
me.
Good.
Thank you.
You're welcome. I thank you.
Miss Red wanted me to mention about the request of the work order, outstanding work orders, so y'all can see that we are diligently working. Request is 68% completed, 55 and only 13 outstanding. Thank you.
Not percent, 68
68.
total.
Total,
And
thank you.
58 complete, and then the 13 outstanding, not percentage wise.
Thank you.
You got a high percentage, so I didn't want to cut you off. All right. You gotta give you credit for that.
Yes.
Okay, all right.
Good job.
Thank you, Ms.
Thank you.
Simmons. Okay, our next report is coming from Trent Court. Ms. Pamela Minor is our property manager.
Good afternoon.
Afternoon.
We have 97% occupancy rate for Trent Court. Our tar rate is 5%. And we have 10 outstanding work orders. 6 is pending repair and 4 is parts. And we have 11 police calls with 1 assist.
And if you all remember from last month and the previous months, one of the issues that we have to maintain with HUD is at least 96%. So as she says, we're at 97%. We're working with the Bern unit that we take that off and put it in mod. So that will even reduce that number as well. So we're working with HUD to place that unit in modernization. So as we continue to look at demolition, that number for that unit won't count against us.
What, anything with the police reports that's notable or is kind of ordinary, everyday stuff?
Just ordinary stuff. Even
Nothing.
Get a report.
Okay, no, like major criminal.
Have we been still getting the report from whoever it was?
Yes,
Okay.
we haven't been personal, yes.
Okay.
ma'am.
Anything, I mean, they're getting the reports,
Okay.
but I don't think there really hadn't been any major issues in court.
No.
I know some of the other areas in the community have had some recent issues,
have.
but we hadn't had really those issues in Trent Court. And as you all know, when we do move to an eviction with those residents, before we relinquish the ability to stay, they have to come and sit down with me and Pam in person to discuss those issues before we let them stay. So we want to understand why they're not paying stuff on time, or what are some of the issues, even when we have discrepancies with tenants in the community. We call them in and put them on notice that they're required to maintain peaceful enjoyment for themselves and their guests. And so they understand that when their guests come to visit them, if they act up, then it can cause them to lose their housing. And that has curtailed a lot of that stuff over the last months in Trent Court. And so that's one of the reasons a lot of that stuff is down, because people know we have a zero tolerance.
Thank you, Ms. Pam. Next, we'll have our Ross report from Ms. Sympathy. Is she here?
Participants for Trent Court, 74.8%, non-participant 25%. Community partnership resource engagement is ongoing. Health and wellness is up to date with 102%. Childcare option is through Craven County DSS Social Services. And they're offering full-time and part-time pending approval for availability for the residents. This month, I did about 30 in-person meetings and assessments combined with Trent Court and New Bern Towers. Handed out flyers door to door, weekly assessments. Transportation is up to date. And employment bulletins are weekly. Sorry if I'm speaking going too fast. Current events and workshops are as follows. April 22nd, it's going to be a juvenile resource event session at Stanley White Gym. Hours are 10 a.m. to 12 p.m. and 3 p.m. to 5 p.m. Community resource fair assistant for job, substance abuse, eye care, dental care, and it'll be probably about 60 community partnerships that will attend. I will attend that on Saturday. There is also a take charge self-sufficiency motivation course that will be offered to the residents April 28th through May 22nd. And for senior citizens, their daily activities that there are, the schedule is offered monthly. And the coordinator and I email and hand out the flyers to the residents at the towers.
Any questions? Thank you, Ms. Sympathy.
Thank you. Thank you.
80%.
Okay. Resolutions.
It's really not as much a resolution as much, well, I guess it would probably fall in that category, but really it's just to, it's just an update of the personnel policy, and, you know, accepting that. If you deem that.
No, I think that's, you know, I don't know if anybody feels like they need to discuss it. I read through it. I saw your updates. I mean, they're all within good common sense and reason. I mean, it's important to have a written policy, and as times change, we need to update it and change it. So I'm good with approving it and saying all that the updated, I'll be glad to make a motion that we approve the updated personnel policy with the changes that were made.
And it hadn't been updated since 2012.
Right.
So.
Oh, wow.
So we went through it, we updated with the HR consultant, we sent it to the attorney that specializes in personnel policy with Ward and Smith. And so we collectively did everything with all resources to make sure we updated it to today's requirements and standards.
Something like that is a living, breathing document that constantly needs review and updating, and not having an updated one since 2012 really ties the hands of the director and not being able, you know, we've found some instances in the past where we really didn't have the information in our policy to take action because we didn't have it updated. So that's, again, I support updating this and ask that the board approves it.
Okay, a motion has been made. A motion is on the floor. Is there a second?
Second.
Are there any questions?
None.
Okay, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Are there any opposed? Okay, motion carries. I would like to have a motion to move into closed session.
To discuss a personal matter and to consult with legal counsel pursuant to NC Gen Stat 143-318.11, A6 and A3.
Thank you. I make that motion.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Or any questions?
Have this one? Oh, yes.
Yes.
Jim, will that be the second?
Yes, ma'am.
And I do apologize to everybody for my dark glasses. That's so rude, but I got to have them on. I'm being Hollywood.
Thank you all.
Thank you. You're welcome. Thank you.
We are back in session.
Action was taken.
No action was taken. Is there any other business to address?
Madam Chair, I'd like for us to just talk for a minute, if you may, about potentially changing our meeting site. As we saw today, when we have guests, it's really close in here, really difficult. It's even, we don't even have enough room around this table for all the commissioners if they were all in-house with us.
Yes, so it has been discussed, or it has been mentioned, I'm sorry, that and suggested that we have our meeting at another location. The suggestion of Stanley White, the new Stanley White Recreation Center was suggested. It is a little bit more space and more room and a more central location, so we will work towards that.
We need a motion.
I would say, well, not
Do
really.
we, I mean, well, the only thing I would say is, Cliff, I would have you check that because, you know, the official record shows the time and place of meeting, and if we're going to change the place.
We notice it every time.
Understood, but you know, you could do, I know you notice it, but we schedule our meetings, you know, for the year. It's the
Well, the
such and
date-
such.
The date.
The
date
day,
is-
Location.
not that you don't, okay,
Location,
all right, I
yes.
just wanna,
Just make sure that the website, the
Yes.
Facebook page, all that's accurate.
an update.
Send something to the papers, to the Sun Journal, New Bern Now, make sure that that's out there so that people know where it is, you know.
Okay,
But people, make sure we do everything possible to let people know where it is. I don't want people to think that this is trying to hide the ball.
Commissioner Powell, you had a comment?
Yes, I just have one concern in doing this, is that we have a ongoing meeting right now that certain Monday out of the month, but now we're
We lost her. Oh, no.
that may not be able to accommodate that because there's some days that the city is closed on, the times that we meet. So we probably need to research that and get with them and make sure before, and I'm sure we are before we move forward with that, because that might not be the best location, just due to us being able to get it at that certain time of the month, every month.
yeah, and I'll call Carrie tomorrow and work through if it's already been reserved, and then in that case, then we'll look at another, on that particular day, we'll look at another location. So when we post it on our website, we'll know specifically where we're hosting the meeting that particular month. But that's a
Right,
good.
so we don't have to keep changing the location, and then that just gives that citizen that wants to, that might have a concern with it to, well, you had it here and now you changed it here. So, if we can get it at that same time, but then they also, for the city, will know any days that the gym would be closed as well. So you'll know how to, to go forth with it.
Okay.
Good point taken, great point.
Good.
Commissioner Coghill, do you have any questions or concerns? Anything else?
No.
No, I'm fine. I think the move to Stanley White, if we can, is a good idea, and just maybe where we're meeting now would always be the secondary location. I think that's fair.
Okay. Well, thank you. I will entertain a motion to adjourn.
So move.
Thank you.
Second.
So no questions, All in favor? Motion carries.
Okay.